from what I saw, more than Canelo not staying on the gas, I thought that Triple G had a hard time getting going. Had a hard time letting his hands go. He let
Triple G. Okay, you ready? Here's enough to get the syringes. Get them ready. I love Triple G. I love Canelo for the people, but I love the truth more. I love the truth more. Okay, and okay, this is gonna be tough too. But let's spit it out, Teddy. Spit it out. Triple G is a shot fighter. He's a shot fighter. His legs were, he showed instances where his legs were out of sorts, where his legs were unsteady, moving backwards, like almost toddling. His leg, you could see it. And his muscle tone is the muscle tone of an older person. It's softer. You could see all those things. And if Canelo was a great fighter, he gets rid of them. I hate to say it. He gets rid of them. And listen, Triple G, he's an old lion. The teeth are gone. The claws are diminished and broken. But the heart of the lion's still there. The pride of the lion's still there. But he was allowed to roar a little bit. And I'm glad he was. But he was allowed to roar a little bit at the end because Canelo allowed him to. It was kind of like watching one of these games, Ken, where, and you understand this, where you're watching a football game, basketball game, whatever, and one team is the better team, and they're ahead. It looks like they're dominating. They're going to blow them out of the freaking building. And for some reason, they let up. And they let the other team hang around. You heard that word, hang around. They let them hang around.
You saw it yesterday with Baltimore and Miami. Baltimore was beating the brakes off them.
Exactly.
I think they were up like 26 points or something. They
only
lost
problem
the game.
was Triple G couldn't quite get it done because he don't have it no more. He was a tremendous fighter. Great. Listen, Canelo's been a tremendous, solid fighter, but he's not a great fighter. That's my point. That's the point. He's not a great fighter. A great fighter doesn't struggle in spots, doesn't allow a guy who's well past himself, doesn't let off the gas. He finishes the job. He's not a great fighter. That's all I'm saying. He's not Sugar Ray Robinson. He's not even Sugar Ray Leonard, who's a great fighter. He's not Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., who's a great fighter. He's not Salvador Sanchez, who's a great fighter and a great Mexican, both of them great Mexican. He's not those guys. I know he's around in your time, people, and you want him to be that. But there's more to it than that. And this was a little bit of a wake-up call, a little bit of a, of a wake-up call to people to understand that maybe, even though they won't because they're fans, and fan is derived, the word fan is derived from the word fanatic. So you're going to be crazy and you're nuts. Okay, fine, you got the right to do that, but I got the right to tell the truth. Again, I got the right to tell the truth here with my associate, Dr. Rideout. And you had an old car, okay? You want to get right down to it? You had an old car that could no longer go on the highway like it used to at 70 miles an hour. And the only way this car had a chance in the fight, in the race, was to keep a slow pace. And you know what? Canelo let him keep a slow pace, where he let him go 45 miles an hour. He let him eventually take back roads, get off the highway, take back roads, he being Triple G. That's what happened. If he takes that car on the highway the way he was supposed to, no, the car doesn't finish. It breaks down. It breaks down, and they got to tow it off the road. So, again, the truth hurts, but the truth will set you free if you allow it to. So, that's what this fight was about. Do I give credit to Triple G for using his great experience towards when he had to and when he was sort of kept in a fight, as I said, and he used his great experience and his great heart? Yeah, I give him credit for that. That's what he is. He's a lion, even an old one. Do I give him credit for negotiating the punches by stepping out of range? He couldn't move his head maybe the way he wanted to, but he stepped out a little bit and was able to survive some of those bigger shots early on just by doing that. That was basically his defense. And trying to use his jab, yeah, I give him credit for all of that. every bit of it. What I don't give credit to is the commentators, really, and that's a sickness too. That's a disease, but we don't have the cure for that yet. We can only cure one affliction at a time. We can't cure them all. We can't. I know people think we're miracle workers over here, but we're not. We're human. And the commentators, I mean, really, can they just come dressed as cheerleaders? Really, don't put a suit on. Just come dressed as a cheerleader. Okay, we can't dress as doctors
Teddy,
today.
I didn't even listen to them. I listened to the Barstool broadcast. The Barstool broadcast was excellent.
I don't blame you. And then you can laugh. I mean, listening to the fight, you got to cry when you hear some of this stuff. And anyone who battles me over this, you're not being honest. You're just not being honest. You're really not. And I mean, these commentators, they gave no credit at all to Triple G, even later when he was winning some rounds. And yeah, we'll get into the judging later, but he won some rounds. He was given some rounds, if you will. He took them. He was given some rounds late. He was given late rounds. There's no doubt about it. And the first 2 rounds were close. The third round, Canelo started separating himself. No doubt about it. First 2 rounds, nothing was happening, so they were close. But the late rounds were given away. Two
of the 3 judges gave Triple G the first round.
Yeah, and then you got to go to my point. And then
listening to the broadcast, they had him up 6 or 7 to nothing, no questions asked.
And not only that, I mean, they never gave him credit, Triple G, for anything. And some of the things that were coming out of their mouth, one of them screamed, "Overhand right!" And I'm like, yeah, one other part you left out. It didn't land. I mean, that overhand right landed later in a fight, but not at that point. And then you talk about being just not prepared, not professional, or not organized, or not on top of your game. I mean, at the end, they're upset about the decision, how close it was, right? And all of a sudden, one of the commentators say, "Oh my God, can you imagine the way they had it scored if they had given the last round to Triple G, it would have been a draw." Hey, newsflash, guys. Look, they did give it to him. They did give Triple G the last round. Look at your scorecards before you say something that absurd and that stupid. I'm sorry, but look at the scorecards.
They all gave him the last 2 rounds, with the exception of one of the judges, Dave Moretti, had the 11th for Canelo. Which even that is like, what fight were you watching? Even the other judges got that one right. They all gave him the last round. 2 of them gave him the 11th, and 2 of them gave him the 10th. And it wasn't the same guy that gave him the 10th and the 11th and the 10th. Dave Sutherland gave Canelo the 10th round. I didn't think that round was that close.
Listen, we had it right. If you watch the fight plan, we had it right. I thought, always full transparency, I thought that Canelo had a chance to stop him. I picked Canelo to win, but I said he had a chance. But he did have a chance. But, when you let off the gas like that, obviously you're not going to stop anybody. But we had it. We laid it out right in the fight plan. There was only going to be one winner, but there was 2 winners. I'll correct myself, because Triple G was allowed to leave there. A lot of people thought it couldn't happen, with his pride intact, his dignity intact. As the great champion that he's been, he was able to walk out of there that way. And don't think that it was missed on him, because I caught him. I watched him leave and go into the locker room, and I saw him. He said to somebody with his fingers like this, an inch apart, he said, it was so close. It was close. It was close.